Hello, my name is Keisha, and I wanted to tell my walk-away story, why I walked away from the Democratic Party. So I was having a conversation with a close relative, and we were talking about Black Lives Matter, and they made a comment that they felt like Black Lives Matter was hypocritical because they only seemed to make a big deal when white police officers were shooting unarmed men, but never made a big deal when all the black people were when there was black on black crime. So I, out of the gate, I was like, well, it's the police. They're shooting, they're shooting, this is happening all the time, where it's happening more and we just don't even know it. We're not getting all the information. And, the kids that are killing each other when in the places that there is the black on black crime, they are, it's because of slavery, and it's because, there are no jobs there, and it's because, they have no choice. They have to live in these areas. And I mean, on and on and on with the excuses on, why, you don't have to kill anybody. But here I was making, all of these excuses on why they were doing this. And the type of person that I am a researcher, just kind of by nature. And, I was driven to prove my point, and I was going to find all the facts that I needed, and I was going to come back with receipts, and I was just ready to, prove my point and defend myself. Well, when I started to dig for answers, I came up a little short. I was finding out the percentages of cops shooting unarmed black people and shooting unarmed white people, and all those statistics, and then looking at the black on black crime, and it was a huge difference. That got me thinking. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Why does the media make such a big deal? If this is 0.0004, I think, percent of 40 million black people that this is happening to, when you turn on the news, certain news, it sounds like it's happening every hour, every day. I mean, you would think that this is just an epidemic, and literally like a knot was like in my stomach because I felt deceived. I felt like, I'm a smart woman. I thought I had an education on what was going on in the world. And I was just, holding on to that emotional response it was hard to let go in the face of the facts. And, I kept researching, and I came across Thomas Sowell, who is an economic genius. And I started listening to some of his statistics about other cultures around the world, and, just a plethora of things. My mind was open. And then I started to learn about who the Democratic Party really was. And it was shocking. They were the party of slavery. They were the party that used to separate wives from their husbands and say, okay, well, we'll pay you this money. You'll get money from the government if you're a single parent. I had no idea that in the 1930s, or 100 years after slavery, that black people were actually doing better. We had more families that were together. We were rising in economically. It wasn't perfect, and we were still accomplishing these things during Jim Crow and 100 years after slavery. Certainly, we're not doing worse economically, at least. Certainly, racism is not worse today than it was back then, but yet we're doing worse. That doesn't make any sense. So I just kept digging, and what I learned about the Democratic Party. Yes, it was Lyndon Johnson that signed the Civil Rights Act, and he was a Democrat. However, it said that he said that if we're gonna have blacks voting, then we'll have those N-words voting for the next 200 years. And lo and behold, look what's happening. I mean, we just vote Democrat just because, I don't know, our parents did it. And, you know, we always hear that Republicans are racist and the Democrats are for the people. But when you look at the areas that are Democratic run, they're in squalor. And I mean, I want to be a part of a party who is about bringing people up, not keeping people poor. You know, I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. So when I looked at the facts and the statistics, I could not deny that the Democratic Party was not who I believed they were. They did not even line up with my own values that I teach my children. I don't teach my children to make excuses for themselves. I don't teach them to, you know, because racism is in the world, that, you know, that they can't do anything, or let that be an excuse for them. I teach them that they can do anything and be whoever they want to be. I don't agree with the Democratic Party. I don't agree with their excuse that it's like a pity. It's like they look at people with pity. I don't agree with that. I don't even teach that to my children, you know, so I wouldn't dare try to put that upon, you know, someone else. So I have walked away from the Democratic Party. I will never again be a Democrat. I am proud to be a Republican, and I will be one till the day I die. I walked away, and I hope the rest of you do too. Be blessed.